Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really cool concept called the Hundredth Monkey Phenomenon. It's this theory about how just one small idea can ripple out and, believe it or not, change the entire world.
And that brings us to the big question right at the start. Can one person, just one, with one idea, really change the world? I mean, it sounds almost impossible, right?
Well, a pretty strange story about a bunch of monkeys might just hold the surprising answer. It's a story that could totally reframe how you think about the power of a single thought. So let's get right into it.
All right, Section 1, a strange monkey story. Let's unpack the tale that started this whole thing.
So, the story goes, back in the 1950s, scientists in Japan were studying these macaques on an island called Kushima. They started leaving sandy sweet potatoes out for them. Now one day, this young female monkey, her name was Emo, she gets a bright idea. She takes her potato down to a stream and washes off the sand. Smart, right? Soon, her mom and her little monkey friends start copying her. And this goes on for years, just spreading slowly. But then, something amazing happened. Once a critical number of monkeys learned the trick, let's call it the 100th monkey, the behavior didn't just spread, it jumped. All at once, almost every monkey on the island was washing their potatoes. Even monkeys on other islands who had zero contact with them suddenly started doing it too. That's the phenomenon.
So, yeah, on the surface, it's about monkeys and potatoes. But the idea it represents is so much bigger. This quote really nails the hypothesis. If a certain number of us change our minds, our consciousness, the world itself has no choice but to change with us.
Okay, Section 2, from skepticism to science. As you can probably guess, an idea this out there was met with a lot of skepticism at first. But over time, it started getting some serious academic attention.
For a long time, this story was kind of brushed off as, unscientific folklore. A nice, inspiring story, but not real science. But the source material we're looking at shows a big shift around 1999. That's when academics started to seriously wonder, hey, wait a minute, could there be something to this idea of shared awareness and cultural spread, not just in people, but in other species too? One of the people who really pushed this forward was a Japanese primatologist, Masao Kawai. He came out with this idea that was actually revolutionary at the time, that animals have culture. Learned behaviors and knowledge passed down through generations. This was a huge deal because it opened the door to seeing culture as something universal, not just a human thing.
And then you've got Raphael Watson. He was an American researcher who tried to put some real scientific structure around the whole 100th monkey story. He came up with this model he called the diffusion of awareness, basically saying this is exactly how human culture works. An idea starts small, it grows quietly until it hits a certain point, and then, boom, it just explodes into the mainstream.
Section 3, reaching the tipping point. That idea of an explosion is so important. It's not a slow, steady climb, it's a sudden, dramatic shift. So what is that moment called, and where do we actually see it happening today?
Well, scientists and marketers actually have a name for this. They call it critical mass, or maybe more famously, the tipping point. It's that magic moment when an idea, a product, a behavior, whatever it is, stops being this small niche thing and just becomes self-sustaining. It spreads like wildfire, all on its own.
And this should sound super familiar, right? Because we see this everywhere, all the time. Think about a viral social media trend that just appears out of nowhere, or a marketing campaign that suddenly blows up, or a meme that goes from some obscure corner of the internet to being recognized all over the globe overnight. That's the 100th monkey in action, right there.
Section 4, how you change everything. Okay, this is all fascinating theory, but what does it actually have to do with you? Well, according to this idea, it has everything to do with you. This is where it gets personal.
Because here is the single most important part. Every single one of those world-changing, explosive shifts, it starts in the exact same place, inside the mind of one person. It all begins with the awareness of a single individual, just one person, who realizes something, who sees a better way, or who just feels that things need to change.
So the whole process breaks down like this. First, one person has that light bulb moment, that realization. Second, and this is absolutely crucial, that person takes action. They don't just think about it, they do something. Third, that action inspires other people, and the idea starts to spread, from one person to the next. And finally, it hits that critical mass, that tipping point, and boom, it triggers a huge societal shift. But it all starts with one.
And this brings us to this really powerful conclusion. This whole phenomenon isn't really about the 100th monkey, is it? It's about the first monkey, the one who is brave enough to try something new. The real value, the true power to make change happen, it lies with the one who sees a different path and has the guts to be the first one to take it.
So, we've seen how a single idea can build and build until it hits that tipping point and changes everything. Which leaves us with one final question, and this one's for you. What idea do you believe is worth starting? Thanks for joining me.